Hello, this is the Radiogeek, and today for you I have the Radioshack catalog number 2000629. This is actually a rebranded Sangean 505. Radioshack did have a version of this many years ago, and then they basically reintroduced it as this different catalog number. And one of the nice things about this one versus the 505 and the older Radioshack model, which actually had a model number to it, which I don't recall, is this one, when you're tuning, it doesn't mute the sound when you're tuning, so you can actually turn the dial and listen as you tune, which is a nice enhancement over the Sangean version and the older Radioshack version, if I'm correct there in my thinking. It covers FM from 87.5 megahertz to 108 megahertz. AM is from 520 kilohertz to 1710 kilohertz. It covers the long wave band from 153 to 279 kilohertz, and it covers the whole shortwave band from 1.711 to 29.999 megahertz, and it also includes single sideband function. It runs off of 4 AA batteries or a 6-volt supply rated at least 300 milliamps with a negative tip. I'll go through some of the buttons and knobs and things that are on this radio. On the side here, at the bottom, you have the volume, and then just above that is the lock for when you're traveling, that you don't accidentally turn it on. And then it has a kind of like a tone switch for normal, news, and music. And then you have the tuning knob, and when you're on shortwave and you're turning it, it moves in 5 kilohertz steps, and if you push in on the button on the tuner here, you can change the steps to 1 kilohertz, which is kind of nice. On the other side of the radio, you have the Clarifier knob here, which is used when you're tuning in a single sideband station, like a amateur band or something like that. External shortwave antenna, and the FM slash shortwave local DX switch. So if the signal is really strong and overpowering your radio, you could switch that down to local. It's kind of like an attenuator. And if you're trying to pick up a weak station, you'd have it in the DX position. And then the next one is the FM or FM stereo if you're listening to FM. And if you're listening to shortwave, it's the single sideband versus regular AM band switch. And you have your headphone jack, and then the DC input is over here at the bottom. All in all, it's a pretty nice radio. It's a pretty nice looking radio. So we'll turn it on and let you give a listen to it. Kind of another neat feature that it has is this power button. If you just turn it on, it'll turn on, but if you hold it, it'll show 60 minutes. You keep holding it, it'll show 30, and keep holding it, and it'll show 15. And basically, it's a little sleep timer. And there's a little symbol there, I guess it's a little guy laying in a bed or something, and that'll be on the screen when that's enabled. And then after that amount of time goes by, it will power off the radio, which is kind of nice if you're listening before you go to bed. Also has a button here to turn on the light behind the LCD here. It's just 1 or 2 little LEDs that lights up the screen. You can read what frequency you're on. Also has a nice chart down here with the different meter bands and the corresponding frequencies as well. You can not only can you tune with this tuning dial here up and down the band, you can also use these up and down tuning buttons as well. And if you hold in on one of these buttons, it'll start scanning and it'll stop when it picks up a frequency. So we'll turn on the radio here and see what we can get here today.
Roger, it's called the ZX World Guide.
Okay. I was listening to this a little earlier. It's the ham band. I believe that's 20 meters. And if you see this little light here, it's red, and when it decodes a single sideband, it'll kind of be again like a greenish yellow. It'll kind of go back and forth when they're talking. So when you got a station tuned in and they still kind of sound a little bit like Donald Duck, you can push in the button here and get your one-step tuning, and then try to get them a little bit clearer. And then when you get them as good as you can, then on the other side of the radio here is that clarifier knob, and you turn it up and down to try to get them to come in a little bit better and sound more natural on sideband if you can. So I'll turn the clarifier knob and see if you can hear the difference in what they sound like. They sound pretty good and pretty normal now. Stop talking. See how it sounds? Clarifier's way all the way up. So as he starts talking again, I'll start to move it down and you'll hear how the voice changes if he starts talking again here pretty soon. Sometimes you can only hear one side of the conversation depending upon where the two stations are located when they're talking to each other. And this sounds like this is the case on this one. The second station is really in the mud, and the other guy's coming in really well. So when he hands it back over to him, we'll try and adjust this clarifier and then show you what it kind of sounds like here. You hear the difference in the background noise and I'm turning it. There's kind of a little detent in the center position. And that's generally where it needs to be, in the center position. But every now and then when you can't quite get them in with the normal tuning, you can go a little high or a little low and it will tune them in. I don't know, either the other guy is really long-winded or they've stopped talking. But go figure, huh? Alright, well, we'll see if we can find anybody else on the 40-meter band here. See how I could tune and listen at the same time? I could tell if there was a station there. It's kind of nice. Just not really any super strong signals today. You can't hear the difference in that clarifier when I tune it up and down. It's the middle of the afternoon, so I don't know that the band conditions are all that great today for 20 meter. But anyway, that's how you tune them in if you can get a good station there. So I'll turn down the volume here, and I'll flip the switch back to regular AM position and see if we can pick up a shortwave AM station here. My bad, I thought I turned the sideband off, but I didn't. I was wondering what was going on there. So, alright. Let's see.
Advertirle que por mucho frío que tenga, no se acerque
There's a Spanish language station there.
No es maravillosa esa posibilidad.
And these are just some few that I've got here in the memory channels here. You just hit the, once you got memory channels, you can just hit the button and it'll go to that memory channel. Also, you can hit the band button and it'll switch between AM, FM, and shortwave. If you hit the shortwave select button down here, it'll go to the closest meter band, and if that was 15 meters, so if you look at the chart, it'll give you the frequency range of that band. Then you can just tune the tuner and see it's 5 kilohertz steps, and if you push in on it, and then you get 1 kilohertz steps. So it makes it nice for tuning something in. And then you can just hit that button again, and it'll cycle through all of the shortwave bands, and then that gives you a good place to start tuning. Generally speaking, in the daytime like this, the higher frequency bands are probably more active. Pick stuff up on them. On the lower frequencies, say 10 megahertz and below, are better at night. For listening at night. And you can also tune here and instead of the knob, and it'll do it in 5 kilohertz steps, and if you do the 1 kilohertz steps, I guess it only does 5 on this, but it does the 1 up here. And if you hold it, it'll start scanning and it'll stop if it finds something. So that's kind of nice too. Let's check out some of the other bands here. That was shortwave.
On this holiday,
There's
Martin
AM.
Luther King Jr. Day, there is a delay of the inbound Kennedy, Ohio into the burn.
And it hit the tuning button. It just increments in, you know, your 10 kilohertz steps, normal AM.
Been through this before.
It's a pretty good receiver.
People in Milwaukee can
Llame al profe.
sports industry is projected to grow by that he's there to protect. This programming and #1 sports brand. Despojos, amuletos. Every time that we
After 22 hours of a...
I really think a lot of what's going on here with this is people trying to avoid inheritance.
You're the good guy. You went to the U. You were a brass linebacker.
Like I say, this is the middle of the day, so not likely to pick up anything really too much of a DX here during the day on AM for sure. But it does a pretty decent job.
Some of the greatest and
But
therefore is not a plus.
Pieces. Anyway, you don't have to deal with the ups and downs of the market. Or
with
well, I hope you're having a great Martin Luther King.
too.
For the security deposit. When over 100,000 people needed money this year,
Now being reflected in
To start getting children into the gun culture earlier than ever. I mean, the NRA has a program.
Alright, that's the AM band. Long wave, not going to get anything around here. FM band.
And if you go into the Sherry Inn and you mention Wingman or
and I always prided our high.
So, and when you turn it off, it's a little battery indicator, and then all these numbers that are here, 1 through 9, if you got all the way up to 9, the batteries are new and full, and as they get weaker, less numbers show up. So if you turned it off and you had a battery symbol and like 1, 2, 3 and nothing else, then you know your battery's getting low and lower and lower. I'll hold in the power button and show you that sleep timer function. There's 60 minutes, 30 minutes, 15 minutes. And then now you have the little guy on the bed there, and then it'll turn off by itself in 15 minutes. There's the light. I don't think you can see that. But yeah, all in all, it's a really nice shortwave radio. It's got lots of features. These are just a few of the features. It's got alarm clocks on it and memories that you can store your frequencies in. So yeah, if you run across one and it's a decent price, it's really a good value. I think they were originally selling these new for $79, and the 505, I believe, the Sangean version that does not have the muting. I mean, that does have muting when you tune. Was more expensive. It's like over $100. So $79 was a good price, and I think I got this some time ago. It was clearance for $59. So if you see one, pick one up. They're nice radios, and I'm pretty happy with it. So I hope you enjoyed the mini review, and we'll catch you next time. This is the Radio Geek.